Welcome to the Title Abstract. Welcome back. This is the podcast about the people, tools, and trends shaping the future of title. We've got Mike Simon here. He's one of those folks, one of the few that I think is doing really interesting things here in the title industry. He's a good partner of ours. So, Mike, thank you for your business. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on, who you like best on the show, you've only got me from the host side. And then, Mike Simon, AgentBrief, F.A.M.E. Let's talk, John. Let's talk, Mike.
There you go. No problem. I got we got the best host on this one. So,
thank God.
There you go. Love what you guys are doing, and yes, we love working with you guys. And I'm happy to be here to kind of give a little flavor of, what it really means to be working with real estate agents in the current environment. And whether you have AgentBrief, use other data tools, there are some basic premises that I think are worth talking about as it relates to how title reps engage with real estate agents and how they can win, more agent relationships using data, using technology. But again, whether you use AgentBrief or you're using a multitude of other tools, I think these things are the starting point and the baseline for success. I mean, this is where title reps, if they focus their time and energy on these specific things, I think they will ultimately see better agent relationships, more agent relationships. And I think we can all agree that the more agent relationships you have, the more trusted agent relationships you have, the more solid your referral base is going to be. And that's really what we're all after in the title industry, is a solid referral base. So happy to share.
It, Mike, when I heard the title of this called Fame, I got into the podcasting game to become famous. Am I at the wrong
I did
podcast?
not. I did not.
So you're not teaching me how to become famous here?
No. But I will say this, that we borrowed this logo from, for those of you old enough to remember, that F.A.M.E. was a movie, F.A.M.E. was a TV show. And I just think that it fit very well with what we do. And I'll explain what F.A.M.E. means in a second. But from our perspective, we believe this, that building relationships in any part of your life, but most importantly in your business life, is based on not a single moment in time. It's moments over time. And I think it's really important to keep that perspective when dealing with real estate agents. Dealing with real estate agents is not a one-shot deal. I show up, I tell you how great my title company is, you're going to send me a title order. Doesn't work. Real estate agents are not buying the brand. They're not buying your products. They're not buying your services, not buying your tools. They're buying you. So we over-index to helping our customers realize that they are what is being sold here. You are selling yourself to this real estate agent, and here's a whole bunch of things to think about as you do that. So remember, building relationships, not a moment in time, but is definitely lots of moments over time. There has been this reliance on what I did in the past is somehow going to guarantee me some future business. You are only as good as the current transaction you're working on. So I always ask the question to new customers of ours, does your past success guarantee future results? And I will use this example, case in point, this guy. It does not, right? You can be really, really successful on one team, move to another team, and certainly not be that successful. So over-reliance on your past endeavors, your past successes, working with an agent once and doing a successful job, does not guarantee you the next transaction, the next referral, and does not guarantee you keep that relationship. It is something that you need to work every day. The other thing that I think title reps miss is with data, timing matters. There's lots of data sources out there. One of the things that we pride ourselves on at AgentBrief is truly being the most current, the most up-to-date. And whatever tool you use, you have to focus on timing. If your data source is old, then your notification is old and that you're probably missing the opportunity. So I would refer to our good friend Ricky Bobby that if you are not first, you are definitely last. And we're going to talk all about how timing does matter when using data and how timing matters when it comes to engaging with real estate agents
And being a quarterback,
and being a
I
quarterback.
think timing is not helping Aaron Rodgers much.
No, I think his timing is way off, but he's older. I'm older than him, so I certainly have to defer to the fact that he's 40 and still doing something that I want to still be doing, but no, not happening. The last piece is reliance on history. Data out there today, or up till we came around, was all focused on the past. Who did what with whom? Who's cheating on me? I want to look at data and I want to see my name associated with the transaction to think that the data is right. Well, you already know what happened, right? You know the deals you won and you're not going to win them a second time. You know the deals you lost and there's no way you're going to win it, right? And if you did a transaction, you did that transaction. So seeing that in some sort of public forum is more about ego than it is about anything practical to put data into use for. So I would argue that there is no opportunity in historical data. What happened, happened. You know it. It existed. You're just restating what you already know and somehow trying to use that for an opportunity. So what we try to focus on at Agent Brief is about actionable data. What's happening in a real estate agent's transactional life cycle that are opportunities for us as title people to reach out to agents to build the relationships, to support them, to provide them the tools that they need, and yes, ultimately get referrals. But looking at historical data for an opportunity they're just not going to be there. So I caution people using data today and saying, I'm looking at all this data and I need to know market share and wallet share and who did what with whom. Great. But once you know that, where is the opportunity in that? And I would say it isn't. The opportunity is truly in what's next. So how to use data to find out what next or what's next is what we're going to talk about. So F.A.M.E is all about relationship strategies. Okay. F.A.M.E essentially stands for finding agents that matter to you. And whether they be agents that you're working with and you want to retain or prospects that you've identified that you want to acquire, you got to find them. You also need a tool that analyzes that activity. Why? Because prospecting stinks. Nobody likes doing it, but it is a necessary evil. So once you find those agents, how do you pay attention to them and analyze their activities so you know what's going on and have some idea about how you're going to find out about it, all right? And how you're going to take action on it. Messaging is all about that communication, that alerting of the activity, finding out about that activity through some data source that gives you a competitive advantage to find out about it, yes, before anybody else, because if you ain't first, you're last. So when is your action needed? And then finally, engaging in ways that create relationships and trust. Spamming, form letters, templates, using CRMs to repeat tasks for you. It sounds easy, sounds efficient, but is it effective? And I caution everybody to think about data and technology tools not from what is easy, but what is easy and effective. Easy is a misnomer. The effective part of it is really what matters. We have to remember that what we do is a relationship-driven business, and that relationships are created through consistent engagement, and they are retained through consistent engagement. These are not single moments in time, as I said. There are lots of moments over time. So let's jump
Shake and
in.
bake.
That's it. Let's talk about F.A.M.E. So why do title reps miss the moment? Because prospecting is a full-time job. Timing, getting there first, is not a luxury. It is a necessity. So if you're using data, you must use data that's something that's going to help you with timing, that is going to be reliable, not wrong, that there is some form of automation that you can use to make your life easier. and that you're getting notifications about when to act. Because when to act is as important as the rest of this stuff. Cold calling, spamming, geez, agents are fed up with us. And we have to be in there, in their face when there is a need. And that's really why reps miss the moment in using data the wrong way. Using data to take action is what you're looking for, not using data just so you have somebody's phone number. That's really not the highest and best use of data. So, first thing you want to do is you want to find agents who matter. You want to ones you want to retain and new ones you want to win. And then you have to have a prospecting formula. You want agents with volume. Okay? So many title reps make the mistake of, I'm going to pay attention to every agent in the market. Well, you wind up paying attention to 80% of the agents who are not doing any business. So agents with volume, agents with new listings, and yes, something else that seems odd, but something that's important is vendor diversity. When you find real estate agents who work with a diverse pool of settlement service providers, that agent is willing to listen. That agent is willing to spread the wealth. Yes, it may be antithetical to think, well, this agent isn't loyal. Well, no, they are loyal to certain people. They're looking for opportunity. They're looking for ideas. You want agents who have an open mind. And when you combine volume, listings, and vendor diversity, you do get high intent outreach. So I tell reps all the time, stop wasting your time on dormant producers, low producers, newly licensed agents. They'll get there. Quality agents move your revenue needle. Everyone else is sucking time from you. And you're in this business to grow. You're not in this business to be everybody's best friend. But focusing on the right agents is certainly going to help you.
Quick aside there, Mike.
Yep.
So we partner. We've got a CRM. We've got a lead solution called Hot Leads.
Mm-hmm.
We integrate AgentBrief's data into our CRM, and just a real case study is a group here in Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
They are AgentBrief users. They are users of our Razzi CRM, and they are users of our leads. And so, what their sales team does in the morning is they log into Razzi, they see their hot leads. These are properties that they've done business on in the past that are back on the market. We let them know which listing agent has that business.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're double clicking into their AgentBrief profile to see,
Right.
am I finding, is this the right agent to contact? Because it
Mm-hmm.
is the right time. They've got a
Yeah,
new piece of business that you can earn,
absolutely.
but they're learning from the AgentBrief data. Is it the right person to call? Should I spend my time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we got together on this stuff because, there is data out there that will help you do your business better. There are tools out there that will help you do this better, but you got to combine them all. And I think our integration leverages all that. It's that before you and I got together on our partnership, everything was so horizontal, right? It was all these different, there was data, there was tools, CRMs, everything was kind of horizontal across the business, and it was overwhelming to our users. So instead of being overwhelming and sort of growing more horizontally, I think what we both did is focus on growing this business vertically. Products, making that product a vertical integration so you could do more with the time that you have and the data that you have, and recognizing that there's lots of different ways to slice and dice the data, but you're looking for opportunity, you're looking for the right agent, you're looking for their background, you're looking to understand everything about them. Knowledge is power. And I think that's what we are both leveraging in our partnership.
Yeah, I think, what we're in the business of doing is trying to help, you find that right agent. We're trying to give you that, the best reason to call out to them, which is, I've got this back title. We know it's valuable to you, to the homeowner. We might be able to save them money. So you've got the right agent identified. You've got a layup in terms of a really good reason to reach out. And
Absolutely.
to your point is, if you can connect your production data to agent brief and know all the right opportunities, I think we really value your partnership, Mike.
What a
Because
competitive advantage. I mean, it's true. So between both of us, you get to this point of analysis. Analysis is the moments in time that we're talking about, right? Reps use data. They say, well, I've got their phone number, I've got their email, I'm going to send them all this great information about my company. I'm here to tell you, real estate agents don't care. They don't care. What they want to know is how are you going to help them when they need you, right? So what we're looking for, like you, is we're looking for moments that signal activity, momentum, new listings, status changes, pendings, closings, past transactions. You're putting all this together into creating momentum and opportunity. And I would tell you that, a cold call, hey, it's me, Mike from XYZ Title Company. We've been in business since 1847. We're eighth generation title reps. We've been in the greater Ottumwa, Iowa market since the turn of the century. Most agents are not listening to that, okay? Because you're talking about you. You're talking about your history. You're selling. Agents want a relationship. So when you reach out to an agent in a cold call and think you got some success because that agent gave you their time, and that agent says, yeah, I'll send you my next transaction, no problem. The minute they hang up the phone, they've forgotten everything that you just said. Okay? Because you were talking about you were talking about what you can provide, you're talking about your business, your history, your everything that's not relevant to the agent because there's no need. So if you move away from cold calls and you take action when agents need you most, then every time you have a touch, that touches with purpose. And I think that's the big thing about analysis. And that's a thing that Agent Brief automates. When you use Agent Brief to find agents and follow them on our platform, and we take over and we do all of the automated prospecting for you, we're looking for these activities for you 24/7, 365. We're pinging the MLS every hour to look for these events that when we notify you and we say, hey, it's time to take action because this agent needs you, we're not making it up. The agent needs you and they need you for these transactions. And the vast majority of agents need your help. So be there when they need you. Yes, be visible when they don't or when they're slow, but this is the moment in time to take that action. And analysis of activity and notifications are really what is a key driver to the success of people using Agent Brief today. The messaging, when we tell you, hey, there's this thing, there's this event in the MLS, and you check in, well, think about it this way. Hey, I'm just checking in, seeing what's going on with you. Got anything going on? Passive, passive, passive. Needy. Hey, agent, tell me what you're doing. Versus, hey, agent, saw you got that new listing at 123 Main Street. Let's talk. Let me tell you how I can help you. Remember, okay, reps pitching product, different than reps building relationships. I say this again, agents are buying you first. They're not buying your brand, they're not buying your product, they're not buying your history, they're not buying your tools, they're not buying your price. They're buying you. So leverage it. Agent Brief is telling you in real time when things are happening and when to act. And now it's up to you to take that action. And when you're acting on these activities, when there is a need, those conversations are much more productive. And I want you to compare a conversation, a cold call conversation, where you talk about 1,000 things, including the weather, but there's no event there that you're really talking about that's going to provide value. And that's what we want our users to focus on.
Yeah, I think on our last podcast, with you, Mike, we talked about how you're part of the real estate agent's reputation. And I think, what you need to know is like, what is their reputation? Clue in on that stuff, right? Like, dig
Absolutely.
into their profile on Agent Brief, know
Mm-hmm.
everything you can about them, and, speak towards that. You're part of their reputation. How can you help improve that reputation?
And I would also add to that, Justin, on the flip side, because we did talk about it, and I think that's entirely right. But also remember that not every real estate agent is created equal. I can't tell you how many times a title rep has said to me, hey, Mike, you saved me because this agent came at me and they were telling me all the things they wanted me to do for them. And they told me about all their production and everything that they were doing. And I had no way of validating that. And then I went into AgentBrief on my app on my phone and I checked on that agent. I saw they had one transaction in the last decade and a half. And I knew that my time is more valuable than that. The investment spend, whether it's emotionally, financially, whatever, that I want to put into these agents, every agent does not deserve or does not warrant your investment. And engaging with purpose is a two-way street, right? Agents want folks to be reliable, okay? They want reliable partners that's going to ensure an easy close, because the number one thing that agents care about right now, right? I want to get my commission check. So you got to be reliable to them, okay? But when you're chasing agents and you're engaging with a purpose, not every agent is returning that favor to you. So you're not just chasing deals, you're chasing mind share, you're chasing equity, you're building that relationship, you're making sure that your engagement with them is timely, it's personal, it's professional, it's consistent. You are reliable. Be reliable, be that trusted resource, but also be careful. Your time is valuable. And I say to title reps all the time, every agent does not warrant your undivided attention. Okay? Make sure you're working with the agents that not only need you, but respect you, that value what you're providing for them. And you will have this incredible two-way relationship with real estate agents. It is possible, right? It's not just a one-way street, but it takes you being knowledgeable about who that agent is, understanding who they are, where they're coming from, what their production is all about. But also, when you recognize that an agent is valuable, you treat them like that, because these relationships are gold.
Not everybody's got the reputation you want to be tied to. You can't put lipstick on a pig. You can't shine a turd. You know, these are idioms, but
That's it.
I think they get to the
Absolutely.
point.
So just a quick recap, one, find agents that matter. Okay. Stop wasting your time on everybody, because everybody doesn't matter. Find the ones that do matter. Find a way to follow those agents so you can analyze their activity 24/7, because this is a full-time job, right? Is you never know when an agent's going to put something into the MLS, and you want to be there first to capitalize on that. So get yourself a tool that monitors agent activity and sends you alerts so you know when to act. Be first, message in the moment, right? If you're getting advance notice, if you have first mover advantage, leverage it. So many tools out there that are, about data, give you the data, but don't give you the tools to take that action. So find a way to merge the most up-to-date data, actionable events, and a way to get in front of that agent when the opportunity arises. And then always be mindful to engage in ways that create relationships, create trust, that have longevity. You show up first, you will build better relationships, you will win more orders. This is a long-term investment. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens one time. I get people all the time saying, "Oh, Mike, I followed agents and I sent them a message and nobody sent me a title order." I said, "Well, great. Did you follow up? Have you engaged with that agent? Did you show up? Are you bringing value?" It's not just knowing when they have that transaction, but it's also what you do to help them leverage that transaction.
And that's part of why you need the CRM tied to AgentBrief is knowing that, hey, I did follow this agent. I did send them an initial message. I need to follow up with this person. I need to schedule that task. I need to know the conversation history that I've had.
There you go.
These are all reasons that the combination of the platforms just make a lot of sense. And so
Absolutely.
big
So
believers in what you're doing there, Mike.
if you guys want to know more, right? This is pricing that we worked out with Razzi. Listeners of the podcast, you can access basically our product at about a 50% discount. It's a great time of year for us, for Razzi, for our partnership. One thing I'd like to end on, Justin, is that, this is, it's almost November, and this is kind of that slow decline into Christmas, right? Where people say, "Oh, it was an exhausting year, and now I'm just going to coast through the end of the year. I worked hard, and I'm going to pick it up next year." Well, don't be the 80% that do that, right? Right now is the time to find tools that are going to help you identify opportunities, get introductions to real estate agents, and build relationships now. Because the effort that you put in today in building your relationships will pay off dividends next year in peak home selling season at the turn of the year. This is when you put in the hard work to make the opportunities more valuable when you come back to work after the new year. So really, whether it's Razzi, it's us, what tools you're using, think about this, that you need, I think Gary Keller called it, was winterizing your business. November,
Mm.
December, where most of the industry is tailing off, where most of the industry are taking it easy, coasting into the new year. I'll pick it up again when I get back next year. Now, be different, right? Moved into this mindset of building your relationships today using data, bringing these tools on board, become expert at them. Because when the rubber hits the road and the market starts up again, you don't want to be learning this stuff on the fly. Get educated, get smart, get these tools, become experts at them now. And then when you come back into the market, when the market returns and things heat up again, this is the skills that you need, the tools that you will need to be really, really successful in capitalizing on everything that's happening, the disruption that's happening, the technology that's happening, the changes that are happening, the uncertainty that's happening. Knowledge is power. Having tools like Razzi, having tools like AgentBrief, bringing all that together to give you what you need to be successful, now's the time to make that investment.
Yeah, I think well stated. What I'll add is, I've sold technology for 25 years now. I feel old. The the one thing we always talk about at good organizations is, technology isn't a solution until you have the people, the process, and the tools all aligned.
You
And that's
betcha.
what you need to do this time of year. You need to find those agents, the people that matter. What are
That's right.
the tools that you're going to use to know more about them, reach them, track the results, and then the process. Right now is the best time of year to invest in the time that
That's
it
right.
takes to crank these things up, create a wheel. Amazon talks about the flywheel effect. What are
Oh,
you
yeah.
going to do that's going to, create this momentum that just builds on itself? It's this time of year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What does David Bravo say? Be the buffalo.
Be the buffalo.
Head off into the storm, baby. Go head first. And yeah, it's a little, and I wish to say just that there was like what adopting products like ours is painful. It's not. Both of our products are so easy to use, so user friendly, so simplistic. But if you use them, the results are outsized. So, we've put so much work collectively into making things simple for our users. So it doesn't cause that brain freeze. Oh, I got to learn new tech, or tech's overwhelming, or I can't use tech, or I'm not smart enough. I don't know this. I don't know AI. It's all there. Guys like us are putting the effort into making it so user friendly that now is the time to adopt it. I don't care where you are in your career. I don't care what stage you are. I don't care your experience level. These tools are there to make your life easier, and you will be more productive if you deploy them the right way.
100%. I appreciate you, Mike.
Thank
Always a
you, buddy.
pleasure.
Same
That's
here.
it for this episode of the Title Abstract. Mike at agentbrief.com, Justin at RazziExchange.com. If you found this valuable, pass it on to a friend, a colleague, or an underwriter.
Call us
Uh,
anytime. We're available for parties.
we are party favors. So thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Justin. Talk to
Thanks,
you
Mike.
soon.